What's going on, guys? Today we are finally getting to see my new drift car. Woo! Well, here it is, guys. This is a 1999 323 IS. It is an M52 straight 6 motor, producing 168 crank horsepower. That's when it's brand new. It's 20 years old, so it's probably like 140 or something now. And 180 foot-pounds of torque, if I'm correct. So, yeah, it's an E36. Let's check this thing out. So it's already lowered on some lowering springs, sock springs, and some struts. Has some aftermarket, I believe they're M3 wheels. Well, at least I was told they're M3 wheels. They have the M little badge on them. Right there. But they have the Apex center cap, so I'm not entirely sure. Tire-wise, 225s up front, 245s in the rear. And that's pretty much it for suspension and tires. As you guys can see, I do have my Sparco bucket seat in here. My Sparco Evo 2. I actually swapped it in from the M3, so the M3 no longer has the bucket. This car does. The only thing I've had an issue with is actually getting it inbound enough, I guess, like centered in front of the wheel, because you sit kind of off center right now. The only reason I've had that issue is because the seat hits the trans tunnel right here, and the mounts are pretty much all the way over. So I either have to modify the seat, find a different bracket, or just roll with it. So for now, we're just gonna roll with it because, I mean, drift car, why not? I've also taken the liberty of welding the diff in this car. It's a 315 ratio diff. I did get 2 of them with the car. So the stock one was a 293, I believe, and then the guy gave me an extra one, which is the 315. Had my buddy weld that when I pulled the other one, and now we have a welded in the car. Should be pretty cool because I've never actually driven a car with a welded diff until now. It's a 5-speed, if I didn't mention that already. It's a pretty clean car for what it is. I mean, last owner definitely hit something down here. A little bit of scuffs, but otherwise it's pretty clean. There's some M parts. So the steering wheel, it's an M wheel, M shifter. The nice thing about this car is that the radio works, the heat works, and the AC works. All of the buttons work, all of the windows work. There is no leaks from the motor, no oil leaks, nothing like that. It's basically like a pretty solid and sound car. 216,000 miles. Let me set you guys down. I'm actually filming on Troy's camera, so go, which side is it? This side. Go check out Troy's channel. I'm using his camera. I kind of stole it, but mine didn't have any batteries, so. Yeah, so 216,000 miles, not bad. The motor pulls strong, the clutch is good. Ooh, I'm falling. The clutch is good. I got a bunch of extra parts with the car that I'm already trying to sell on Facebook. I have extra fenders, a new clutch, new rotors, new bumper, control arms, all sorts of headlights, taillights. The guy gave me a bunch of stuff, a whole set of extra wheels with winter tires on them, so if we have it in the winter time, we can do some snow drifting, and a whole bunch of other goodies that he threw in with the package of the car. Sunroof works. So yeah, pretty solid car. Now the best part about this car, $2,700, guys. 2,700 bucks. For 2,700 bucks, you can get a car, weld the diff, you don't even need a seat, and go out drifting. So that's kind of the idea with this car, is keep it simple and don't try to overbuild it or anything. Just get out there and drive. That's why I haven't tried to do any sort of like suspension stuff or angle mods or any of that. We're just gonna take the car this Thursday to test and tune, go out there, shake it down, see what happens if something breaks, if it needs this or that, if the car feels way too loose or so and so. But yeah, so the main idea was also that the M3 is pretty nice, and I'm kind of driving with knowing that if I crash it, it will cost a lot of money and I'll be kind of sad about it. Whereas this car, 2,700 bucks, like if I smash it into a wall, as long as it drives, who cares, you know? It doesn't have to look pretty, it's just gonna be a drift car, and I'm pretty stoked to just get out there and start sending it in this bad boy. So depending on time, we might go for a quick drive and see if we can do some donuts or a burnout. I haven't actually tested the welded diff, like burnout wise. I did some donuts on a dirt street, but other than that, haven't really put it to its paces on pavement. Yeah, so let's hop in the car and go for a quick drive and see what happens. Alright guys, so we are in the E36. It's quite a bit later than the whole beginning of the video. I had to do some other stuff and I actually fell asleep for a little bit. I hope you can hear over the AC in this thing. It's a little loud, and the E36 definitely has a lot more road noise than the E46. That's the main thing I noticed, is that you can hear a lot more bumps and feel a lot more of the bumps. I think mainly just because there's less sound deadening and stuff, it's a little less refined. I'm on my way to go put some air in these tires. The one side was pretty low and the other side could use a little bit more, and then we'll see if we can go find somewhere to, you know, hug a skid. It's raining a little bit, so that'll help us, and we'll see what happens. We're now at 50 PSI in the rear tires. They definitely needed it. The one side was at like 20 something, which not what we're looking for, so hopefully now they'll slide a little easier. I mean, it's raining out, the diff is welded, and literally feels like a normal car. I can hear the diff, like that. If you know what the diff noise sounds like, that's what it is. It's doing that like kind of whirring, whining kind of noise, but even the M3 kind of did that at lower speeds too, so I don't know if that's a normal welded diff thing or what, but we're gonna head to a spot that we can try some donuts and maybe just a standstill burnout. I'm going to test and tune this Thursday, as I mentioned before, but I need to find some 17-inch tires. All of my wheels are 18s, and according to the interweb and my friends, 18s will not be easy to spin with like 140 horsepower, obviously, so hopefully I can figure something out before then, because that would be sweet. Oh yeah. I don't know if you guys can tell from that angle, but I'm sitting, if I sit straight in the seat, I'm very much so off center from the steering wheel. Oh, bumps, Michigan. I'm kind of like this, but from what I've seen, seats like the Evo 2 and stuff that's bigger, unless you're gonna modify it, you really just gotta work with what you got. So I'll adjust. I plan on putting a different wheel in this car as well, like a quick energy wheel or something, so it'll sit a little higher up. My legs will have a little bit more space, because right now it's pretty tight in here. But for a 20-year-old car with 216,000 miles, she pulls pretty good, pretty smooth. The clutch is good. I do have an extra one the guy gave me. He said the previous guy before him put it in the car and it was too heavy for his daily driving. So maybe it's perfect for drifting. But until this one goes, we're just gonna keep this one in the car. I mean, this is the third time I've driven this car maybe. So it's kind of a learn as you go kind of deal. Really hear that diff. That noise. If you can hear that noise, that's the diff. Yeah, kind of different. The track will be interesting because it's either going to be whopping third or second gear the entire time, just really banging rev limiter, or it's going to be like third gear, drop to second, back to third gear, drop to second, like really playing that. If you remember last video, if you watched the drifting video from the first event of the year in the M3, I rode with Alec in his silver E36. I'll throw that clip in right now. But that's a stock power car, just angle, exhaust, I mean headers maybe, and ooh, traction. Yeah, that's a stock power car, so it's really a momentum game. The more you can transfer your weight, the more you can throw it, the better you're gonna be out there. This is gonna be the true test of a driver mod for sure, because M3 had extra power to give, and this thing is, well, not a whole lot of extra power to give, put it that way. Oh, I know what I'm forgetting, boys. ABS fuses. I'm forgetting that there's probably some sort of traction control. But we're gonna skaboot out of here. Yeah, it didn't really feel like it wanted to stay in drift. But hey, it spun the tires up. Definitely had to use a lot more throttle than I was thinking it would have to. Let's pull over really quick and do a quick Google search and see if there are fuses to pull for traction control. I pulled the fuses F10, F38, and F21, which is pretty much like ABS and traction control stuff. Yeah, so ideally these three fuses should do the trick. And as long as there's no traffic coming, we should be able to try it one more time over here. And then we'll head home. And then the video will be done. But behind this, can we refer now? Okay, it kind of did a burnout. I wouldn't really call that a burnout, but it did something. It really just wheel hopped a whole bunch. Oh, here we go, boys. Yeah, pull fuses, do skids. Now we're talking. That felt so much better. Clutch kick, I just dumped it. And it's wet out, so that helps, but definitely a noticeable difference. The wheel wasn't tugging back at me and fighting me. It felt smooth, it self-steered and all that goodies. Those fuses seem to work. I believe I said 21, 38, and something else. You can skip back and see what I said, but yeah, just pulled 3 fuses, the diff's welded, and that's it. I mean, clutch kick, and you got donuts. I'm curious to see how it works on dry pavement. We'll probably put like 70 or 80 PSI when we go drifting on Thursday. But for now, That'll do. Alright, cut to the outro.
Peace.
Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you're as excited to see this thing drifting as I am. I'm super pumped to get out there and just go send it, you know? I mean, the worst thing that happens is I don't know. There's nothing that could be the worst thing that happens besides I suck and don't know how to drive. Other than that, the car should work fine. Hit that like button and subscribe. I have some really great videos coming up. Later this week, Vehicle Virgins is coming in, so Parker is going to be in town. We're going to be doing some stuff with this car, the M3, and then we have our first rally of the year this upcoming weekend, Rally Kings Spring Run down to St. Louis. Should be a great time. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.